And welcome back to centralcoastradio.com. Well, last weekend was the inaugural Metro Comic Con in Melbourne, and Lee and I were able to go along and check it out. So we're going to talk a little bit now about how it went, and the good news is, of course, Metro Comic Con's already been announced for next year, so we're looking forward to that already. But Lee, what did you think of the first ever Metro Comic Con?
I thought it was probably one of the most professional cons I've been to. I love all the cons. I thought that the emceeing was fantastic, very professional, and got straight to the point in the Q&As of getting to the audience questions, not taking a chunk of it to have small talk and things like that. Just straight to the audience, and the audience was so well behaved and had really good questions too, so you got a lot of information out of all the actors. The actors were professional themselves and very caring and supportive of their fans, and a glimpse into their professional life and sometimes a little bit into their personal life too, so that was really good. Enjoyed all the actors. In fact, I sat down for most of the con listening to actor after actor after actor. I changed rooms a couple of times to hear, the different actors, because they, 2 or 3 might have been talking at once, and choosing out of, the big lineup which ones to sit in on. It was great to see some of the cosplay happening and some of the winners. Some of the costumes were amazing. There was a particular costume I loved. It was a moth. And the detail into that costume was just outstanding. And of course, we did look around the expo a little bit at what was on offer to purchase, and a lot of the normal stalls were there, and that was fantastic. A few missing, I think, just being the first Metro Comic Con, and I'm sure that will build up even more over time. Weren't as many specials in terms of, getting a real value for your buck, but certainly a lot of variety there still with artists and their work, and also, anything from clothing stalls to buying baked biscuits or anything like that. A lot there. Overall, I was super happy with the con. Any little glitches, they sorted out very quickly. In some of the Q&As, the line for people just from the audience lining up was down the middle of the aisles, and it prevented all the fans from seeing an actor in person on certain sides that you were sitting on, because the line was so big. But they did adapt that and change that when they could see that, and in later sessions they changed where the lines were. So I think they responded to things very quickly, and the staff was super friendly. So it was a great experience. Anything to improve on? No, I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger over time. I think that anything that needs to be improved on, as I just said, was improved on the spot. And the only thing I would say that maybe people might struggle with is the cost of parking. I think that's a venue issue rather than a Comic-Con issue. But yeah, it is $20 a day when you've already bought a ticket. That's a little bit, a bit surprising, I think. But apart from that, the actual con, I am so excited to go to another Metro Comic Con, top level.
Yeah, it's a bit of a catch-22 with the venue, because undoubtedly the showgrounds are the best place for a convention. It's less crowded and there's more space to move around and stuff like that. But
the auditorium's really good now.
Yeah, whereas the advantage of when there's a con at the exhibition centre, which Melburnians called Jeff Shed, is that you can park across the road for a lot cheaper. But I really enjoyed this Metro Comic Con. I thought the standard of the guests was absolutely amazing. There were so many guests that I was excited to go and see, and I love the fact that there was like a little bit of a mixture of new and old guests as well, in the sense that they had people like from David Harbour, for example, from shows like Stranger Things, but then they also had actors from older shows like Roswell as well, but we'll talk more about them in a moment because we're going to have a look at the panels that we went to. I'm like you with the stores that were available there. While I don't think it was as big as what you would normally get at Supernova and Comic Con, the quality was really, really good. I love the fact that there was a bigger artists gallery. I had the opportunity to actually talk to some of my favorite artists while I was there. There was no rush either. Like, if you were looking at one of the artists' artwork, there was no rush with like, you need to hurry up and talk to me because I need to get onto something else kind of thing. They were just really, really friendly. People that I talked to at most of the conventions, of course, I was talking to again. So people like Tom Taylor, Jamie Johnson, I had a big talk to as well. But there was also international guests there too, like people like Nicholas Scott. And they were only too happy to sit down and talk to you. And I think one of the things that was really good this year was there was people there that could talk to people that are starting up their own comics and graphic novels. There were bargains if you walked around as well. Like, there was a few stalls I saw that had pop vinyls for like $5, which is pretty cheap. I got a few trading cards at some pretty good prices as well. So yeah, but one of the things I think that you also touched on was how friendly the volunteers were. There was a convention earlier this year where we both said about some of the volunteers being a bit rude, but the volunteers here were so friendly. There was a couple that, like, because they'd seen me go into a couple of the panels, actually stopped and spoke to me and stuff like that, and we had a bit of a laugh and everything. So yeah, I think Metro Comic Con it's great already, and it's just going to get better over the years. Like I said, the next one's already been announced for next year. No dates at the moment, but definitely that it's going ahead, and hopefully over the next few years it'll also expand and go into other states as well. So but yeah, big thumbs up from me as well for Metro Comic Con.
Yeah, definitely. You've mentioned some artists there. One I want to give a shout out to is Rose Demon. Alternative artwork, just amazing. And yeah, the artist is usually always on the stall and very friendly, and I just love their artwork. It's kind of a gothic style, I suppose you'd say.
Yeah.
But just love it. And yeah, she seems to be at most cons now, so I'm always looking out for what she has there, and I'm always excited to see that artwork. So yeah, a few of our favourite artists weren't there at this one, but we'll see at the next one.
Definitely. Well, we're going to go to a track right now on centralcoastradio.com, and we'll be back in just a moment to discuss what we learnt at the panels at this year's Metro Comic Con.